Nestled in a dense forest, a Russian soldier on a scouting mission stumbles across what appears to be a destroyed and abandoned Ukrainian military base. Its command center is a burned-out husk and a casualty of a Russian missile barrage early in the war. However, the soldier notices something odd. There's a relatively new supply truck loosely covered by a tarp with its engine still warm. Something seems off, but before the soldier has a chance to explore the site further, his commander performs a radio check, but the soldier doesn't answer. The soldier was never seen again, despite Russian search parties attempting to locate him, and the soldier is never found. What the Russians hadn't realized is they'd accidentally stumbled across a secret underground intelligence base operated in part by the American CIA. In fact, this is only one of about 12 known secret CIA posts along the Russian border. And what the Russian soldier was about to discover was that right below his feet, Intel analysts and Ukrainian soldiers were hard at work tracking his unit right to the very spot in which he stood. The history of these sites began almost a decade ago, and construction of the 12 Intel bases began around 2016, not long after the Russian annexation of Crimea. Some of these sites were built in forested areas along the Russian border in nondescript locations, and some of the sites are built near abandoned Ukrainian military bases, and some are merely disguised among shrubbery and trees. Discrete entrances lead down to subterranean bunkers, in which complex teams of Ukrainian intelligence officers are hard at work analyzing Russian troop movements, decoding signals intelligence, and intercepted communications. Nearby, a German anti-aircraft system defends against Russian attacks. The bunker also features an air filtration system that guards against chemical weapons, and a dedicated power system is available if the power grid goes down. This is how Ukraine manages to stay one step ahead of the Russians' military movements, and the bases are almost entirely funded by the American CIA. Around the same time in 2016, the CIA also began training an elite Ukrainian commando force known as Unit 2245, which were tasked with capturing Russian drones and communications gear. This equipment was of particular interest because the CIA needed these systems to be able to reverse engineer them and crack Russia's encryption methods. A notable member of Unit 2245 was an officer by the name of Kirill Budanov, who now serves as director of Ukraine's military intelligence. Also, at one point, you may recall that former CIA Director William Burns made an unannounced visit to Ukraine during the shortage of weapons being sent by the United States to Ukraine. That visit was no coincidence, and Burns was actually visiting Ukraine to reassure Ukraine that support would begin to flow once again and that the CIA remained committed to their intelligence partnership. You see, the relationship between Ukraine and the CIA is not a relationship of charity. Both parties stand to gain significantly from the relationship, which is why Burns personally made a visit to Ukraine to avoid a political falling out between the agency and Ukrainian officials. For the United States, we stand to gain invaluable first-hand intelligence of Russian strategy, weaponry, strengths, and shortcomings. For Ukraine, they gain invaluable intelligence which far exceeds Russian methods. The intelligence provided by the CIA is so important to Ukraine that the former head of Ukraine's domestic intelligence agency said that, quote-unquote, without them, there would have been no way for us to resist the Russians or to even beat them. The 12 secret bases also serve as forward contact points for Ukrainian spies living inside of Russia. The CIA launched Operation Goldfish in tandem with Ukrainian intelligence agencies to train Ukrainian intelligence officers how to convincingly assume fake personas and steal secrets in Russia and other countries that are adept at rooting out spies. You see, Russia is run by Vladimir Putin, who by trade is a former KGB spy. Putin knows the ways of Ukraine's intelligence agencies because at one point in history, they were all on the same team. This is why the CIA was brought in to supervise the training of these new Ukrainian spies, and the 12 secret bases contain equipment in which the Ukrainians use to maintain contact with their spies inside of mainland Russia. However, while the relationship between the CIA and Ukraine was built on solid ground, that doesn't mean that there aren't disagreements. As many know, Ukraine is a very proud country, and its people are very strong-willed and determined. And many in Ukrainian intelligence have sometimes clashed with officials at the CIA due to wanting to maintain control over operations within their country. One particular incident arose when a Ukrainian intelligence official planned an operation to destroy Russian military train depots as a quote-unquote dead man's trigger to use in case of Russia taking more ground inside of Ukraine. When the CIA found out, they were furious, and it ultimately cost the job of the officer planning the attack. The problem was that the CIA had imposed a rule that no intelligence provided by the agency would be used in lethal operations against the Russians, and this was to avoid an unnecessary provocation which could be linked back to the United States. This fiasco nearly prompted the White House to shut down the joint operations with the CIA in the Ukraine entirely, but the tension soon passed and the relationship was salvaged. The bases have proved invaluable to not only Ukraine, but also for the United States as well. For example, sometime around 2017, a CIA operative that was at one of the 12 secret Ukrainian bases was able to dupe a Russian intelligence officer into giving access to the top Russian hacking division called Fancy Bear, which yielded a trove of intelligence for American officials. Today, the CIA has proven invaluable to our Ukrainian partners. The agency provides Ukraine with up-to-date US satellite imagery, advanced warning of Russian movements, and also well-researched advice on battle strategies. Over time, the intelligence provided by the CIA has shifted from merely gathering info to now focusing on providing intel for lethal operations to stifle any potential Russian advances on Ukrainian territory. Also, we must give a notable mention to the British MI6 intelligence agency and also various others that provide crucial information to Ukraine as well. But that's all for this video. I hope you found this content interesting, and if you have, please subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button for more videos like this one. And also, feel free to leave a comment below or sign up for our Patreon page. The link is in the description below for Patreon, which also greatly helps us to make more content like this. Thank you all for watching, and bye-bye for now.